Okay, Ronnie, push *6 if you can't, if you're not talking. *6. Okay. Can you hear me? Ronnie?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
All right.
You had me worried there for a minute.
I was over on another page trying to get my reference material pulled up.
Okay. Okay. The show's all yours, guy.
All righty.
Have everybody, if you have a question when he's going through this, you push *6. It'll allow you to talk. After you get through talking, please push *6 again and mute yourself. Okay, Ronnie.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, I don't know how many of you know about the Sister KV Act of 1666. It was put in place whenever London was burning up and there was all kinds of chaos going on. Well, the government didn't have any way of knowing who was alive or who was dead and how to administer those estates of people who were missing or they couldn't find or wasn't reporting or not doing anything with their property. You know, for several reasons, they had to find a way to get a hold of everybody's estate to be able to manage them in a time of crisis. Well, that idea from the Sister KV Act of 1666 was carried forward into the times whenever we had the Civil War. Whenever we didn't know friend from foe, we didn't know who was enemy, who was friend. They went ahead and put our estates into the Sister KV trust to protect the posterity of Americans. The Sister KV Trust Act is only like 2 pages long. It's got like 3 articles in it, and I'm gonna go ahead and read those from the beginning. They're written in Old English, so it might be kind of funny sounding, but they're easy enough to get the gist of. Okay, Sister KV Act 1666, Chapter 11, 18, and 19, CHA 2. I don't know, they got chapters and then chapters on top of chapters. But it's an act for redress of inconveniences by want of proof for the deceases of persons beyond the seas or absenting themselves upon whose lives estates do depend. Recital that Sister KVs have gone beyond the sea and that reversioners cannot find out whether they are alive or dead. Whereas diverse lords of manors and others have granted estates by lease for one or more life or lives, or else for years determinable upon one or more or lives, it has often happened that such person or persons for whose life or lives such estates have been granted have gone beyond the seas or so absented themselves for so many years that the lessors and reversioners cannot find out whether such a person or persons be alive or dead. By reason thereof, such lessors and reversioners have been held out of possession of their tenements for many years, and all the lives upon which those estates depend are dead, in regard that the lessors and reversioners, when they have brought actions for recovery of their tenements, have been put upon it to prove the death of their tenants when it was most impossible for them to discover the same. For remedy of which mischief so frequently happening, so such lessors and reversioners. If you can make sense of that. Okay, now, that's telling you that there's a need for it, because we have people that disappear and we don't know whether they're alive or dead, and we're trying to administer the trust. Okay? And you got to figure this is a time whenever they had the plague the Black Plague, and everything. They were burning everything up. Wars going on. Okay, now the first article says the KB remaining beyond the sea for 7 years together and no proof of their lives. Judge in action to direct a verdict as though Cesta KV were dead. If such person or persons whose life or lives such a state shall remain beyond the seas or elsewhere, absent themselves by this realm by the space of 7 years together, and no sufficient and evident proof be made of the lives of such person or persons, respectively, in any action commenced for recovery of such tenements by the lessors or reversioners, in every such case the person or persons upon whose lives or lives such a state depend shall be accounted as naturally dead. And in every action brought for the recovery of the said tenements by the lessors or reversioners and heirs or assigns, the judge before whom such action shall be brought shall direct the jury to give their verdict as if the person so remaining beyond the seas or otherwise absenting himself were dead. That's how they're treating us whenever we go into court. We're dead. And those estates that they're administering the estates of us as though we are lost beyond the sea. That's why they can't hear you, they can't talk to you, you don't exist. You can't represent yourself because you're dead. Okay. Now here it goes on to the next one. It has the Roman numeral 4 beside it. I'm sure it's pretty mixed up in the original text. But this is the other main part of it, that if you found to be alive. Now, part 4. If the supposed man proved to be alive, then the title is revested. Action for means profit with interest. Provided always that if any person or persons shall be evicted out of any lands or tenements by virtue of this act, and afterwards if such person or persons upon whose lives and lives such estates or estates shall depend shall return again from beyond the seas, or shall on proof in any action to be brought for recovery of the same to be made appear to be living, or to have been living at the time of the eviction, that then from thenceforth the tenant or lessee who was outed of the same, his heirs and their executors, administrators, or assigned shall or may re-enter or repossess, have, hold, and enjoy said lands or tenements in his or her former estate for and during the life or lives so long a term as said person or persons upon whose lives and lives of said estates depend shall be living, and also upon action and actions to be brought by him or them against the lessors or reversioners or tenants in possession or other person respectively, which since the time of the said evictions received profits of the lands and tenements, recover for damages the full profits of said lands and tenements respectively with lawful interest, and for the time that they were outed of said lands and tenements and kept or held out of the same by the said lessors or reversioners, tenants, and other persons who after the said eviction received the profits of the lands and tenements of any of them respectively, as well in the case as said person to person upon whose life or lives such estates or estates did depend, or shall be dead at the time of bringing those said actions, as if the person or persons were then living. Okay. I always laugh at this because it's written in the old English type stuff. They went on to what they're saying is that if anything that happens to your estate while you're considered dead or presumed dead, and you come back and to find out you're not dead, all of it goes back to the same. It's all replenished, replevin. That's where we get these people talking about your claim to life, file your claim to life. The claim to life is something with your DNA on it. You take a piece of tape and pull some arm hair, put it on your arm and rip it up, and then stick it on a piece of paper, and that's your DNA on a piece of paper. And you sign it, and you put a photo of yourself, and you have two witnesses sign it with their thumbprints, all of your thumbprints. That's a claim to life. You turn around and mail that to yourself in the registered mail, and that's your claim to life. I suggest everybody should have one. I put mine up every time I go to talk to one of these government officials. I let them know that I am alive. I'm not dead. That blows their presumption out of the water right off the bat. Now, whenever they do these trusts, whenever you're born, okay, on your birth certificate, you'll see that there's a short period of time, usually a few days. It's been said they got only a certain amount of time to do it, or something like that. I don't know the laws on all that, but that period of time, from the time you're born until the registrar registers that birth certificate, you're in limbo. Now, where do you suppose you go during that time? What are you supposed to be? If you're a citizen, as soon as you're born, then they changed it, because whenever they register it, you become something different. That was supposed to be whenever you were made a citizen. Well, before that, you were a state national. During that time of limbo, you were a state national, and they changed your nationality whenever they registered that birth certificate. Now, whenever they register it, it goes on to create securities with the DTC, the Deposit Trust Corporation, and the DTCC, the Deposit Trust Corporation Clearinghouse. That's at 55 Water Street. Pretty much everybody knows where that's at. They're the ones that hold all the securities and municipal bonds and all of that stuff that's hypothecated in your name through this trust. Now, what the trust does, I believe they call it a old age and retirement account in the Social Security Act. You go to the Social Security Act. Let's see. It's Title II, Federal Old Age Benefits, Old Age Reserve Account. That's what they call it. And the way they got it written, it looks as though that the Social Security is going to make one big account to the state, okay? Like they're giving one big account to the state for them to pay everybody out of it and run this retirement program and all of this crap. It's a shadow. They act like it's one big account, but it's not. What it is, it's their individual accounts. Whenever they open an account for a child, they put a certain amount of money in there in the form of a bond. And then whatever's not being used to take care of the child, which they don't spend anything, that money is reinvested at no less than 3% per annum. An interest rate of 3% per annum compounded annually. So from the time you're born, that money's constantly picking up interest. Okay? The benefits and stuff that you're supposed to be paid and all of that stuff, that the state calculates that. We think it comes from the Social Security Administration, but it really don't. It comes from the state. The state's doing all of this because they're the ones that are in control of the account. Your account is hijacked at the municipal level. That's why you got your birth certificate and all of that, and that's where it's created. That's where it all starts at. It goes with the Department of the Treasury, and the Secretary of the Treasury tends to it and everything. And once you get old enough to work and start putting money in, well, the whole dynamics of the trust change, because then you're no longer the beneficiary. You become the grantor because it was hypothecated from your birth certificate, and the IRS makes you the trustee because you're offering to pay the taxes on it. Whenever you file that first 1040, you're offering to pay the taxes for it, and that's what the trustee does. So you're the grantor, the beneficiary, and the trustee. Well, no trust can work like that. It's unsustainable once all three people are the same person. And we're supposed to close the trust, collapse the trust. It's called merging the titles. You have your equitable titles, you have your debtor, and then you have the debtor, and then you got your creditor, which is both you. So those titles have to be merged. All the debt titles have to come together with all the private side titles, and once that's done, the trust has to collapse. There's nothing to sustain there. And they know this. They just don't tell you. We're supposed to be told about the trust so we can manage our lives and pay our bills through House Joint Resolution 192, which says that our bills are paid for dollar. They are. They're paid ahead. All we got to do is to show them the paperwork and have them conduct a transaction. And I've done that before with the IRS. It's called the A for V. Once you get everything lined out in that trust as belonging to you, and you take control of your assets, then you have a private contract with the Treasury through that trust. And whenever you go and collapse it, it doesn't just disappear. All your numbers are going to stay the same with the financial institution. It'll just be different in that it'll be in your private trust or foundation. Mine's going into a foundation. But now the way the trust operates, it sits there and it earns money and everything. It's connected by your Social Security number. Your Social Security number is the account number on the public side. That's the public side of your assets and everything. That's where whenever you go and sign a promissory note with a finance company, they'll take that finance note to the bank. The bank pulls the money out of that Sister KV trust 10 times because you got 10 bonds made on you. That's why you can get 10 Social Security cards during your lifetime. You can only get 10 because they got 10 bonds for that purpose, for you losing your ID cards and all of that, so they can create another one that will not be the same. But the bank pulls that money out 10 times. It's called fractional banking. That's where the fractions come in, is those bonds that they have on you. That's what allows them to fractionalize that money 10 times. Now, they'll give you, what you're trying to buy, they give them a tenth of it. A tenth of it goes somewhere else. A tenth of it goes somewhere else. And sure, none of it comes to us. But they're supposed to pay the taxes on it and everything, which they don't. And we end up having to pay taxes on it through the income part of it, because we received that money. And where it's going out, well, evidently you had to receive it for it to go out, so you end up paying twice on it. or 3 times actually, because you're paying the taxes and you're paying originally, and then you're paying this financing company for making a piece of paper for you. That's all they did. They drew up a piece of paper. That's all they did. Whenever you sign that promissory note, they take it to the bank. That's all they did. They don't give you any money. No money comes from them. They don't even handle money. All they do is handle the notes, and that's why they don't take any money. Whenever you go to pay that finance company, it'll be some other Joe Schmo company off in Sioux Falls, Iowa, somewhere. That how did I get to doing business with these people? I don't even know these people. Well, that's where your payments are going, because that's where the filch is. It's a big ripoff, and they're ripping off these trusts. The trust is what allows you to be in their courtroom as a trustee, because the trustee is always responsible. The trustee always makes a payment. The trustee always catches all the flack for whatever's wrong, and they hold you accountable. That's why they teach you as a kid, whenever you're in grade school, to raise your hand whenever your name's called. They start grooming us back from that time. Whenever your name is called, raise your hand. That's how you will identify, and you know to identify as that trustee, because it's a similar sounding name to that all capital letters name that they're using from that Sister KV Trust. Now, once they get you in there, they know they've got the right person, because they took your wallet and looked at your Social Security card, and now they can hypothecate your name because you don't tell them not to. They assume they can because you don't tell them not to. You don't have any contracts on paper that tells them not to, so they can do whatever they want to. That's why our private contracts are so important. Get your private contracts done. Get them recognized on a UCC1 addendum, and it don't matter how late you are or whatever, where you're at, what stage you're at in the game. Get them done. Your commercial security agreement, your hold harmless and indemnity agreement, the non-negotiable security agreement. There's an indemnity bond with a lien, to lien your straw man, because once you have the priority lien on them, nobody else can charge you anything for it. The man holds a priority lien in commerce. And whenever it comes down to a corporation charging money or a man charging money, the man gets his money first. He always has a priority lien. Whenever you file that lien on your straw man, that's letting them know, hey, ain't nobody charge me anything, because there's no need for anybody to charge anything. Whenever you go to create a debt, you use your trust, and you write your negotiable instruments off of your trust, which I'm hoping we can get everybody to that point. I'm right there at it. I'm doing my money orders right now, trying to pay off little things. The problem I've run into is I've got all this stuff lined out and everything, but I don't have any credit to create a debt. Well, they ain't going to loan me nothing. They ain't going to give me nothing because my credit's bad. So I'm I'm trying to use it to pay somebody else's bills and get somebody else lined out and see what it does. I paid one of my bills, which was a IRS frivolous filing, where I was monkeying around with the damn 1099 OIDs, and I knew better. I knew better. I shouldn't have never put my name on them damn things. Not signed it anyway. You know, I tell everybody, whenever you're dealing with the IRS, do a Form 56 and have them file the papers, have them sign the papers. You have the right to not incriminate yourself, so you don't have to fill out those tax forms you don't know anything about. Have them do it. That's what I've done this last round. After I got the $5,000 frivolous filing fine, I said, well, you know, that's what I get for doing it wrong. But I took that fine that they give me, and I did a accepted for value on the front and the back, the way it's supposed to be done. Accepted for value and honor, returned for value and honor, exempt from levy, all of that good stuff. What bond number is coming under? Because I have filed a truckload of bonds with the Treasury, and whenever I done that, I sent the 1096, the 1099 OID, the 1040, the 1040V payment voucher, and everything else I could with that thing. And all I did was put my name on the paper, and I left everything blank. I told them to fill it out. Sure enough, last time I called the IRS, I asked them, I said, well, how much is that fine now? They said, there ain't no fine on your record. So it paid the fine. I mean, that's the only way I can look at it. And that's my own personal experience, that the A for V does work. I didn't want to do it with certain things, like our money orders written on our estates. Those SKV trusts are there in usufruct. They can't take any money out of it permanently. Whenever I was talking about the banks pulling the money out for the promissory notes a while ago, what I didn't say was that they have to put it back within 72 hours. They pull it out, do what they got to do with it, hypothecate it, fractionalize it, reassign it, and then they put that amount back into that Social Security account because they can't take any money out of it. All it can be used for is to create money. And that's how we're creating money for the economy, is through our credit. Whenever we go and we do a promissory note, they've got us blocked from doing promissory notes ourselves, which I think is going to change drastically here pretty shortly, because now they know that we got these middlemen just bleeding us dry, and it's really putting a thorn in the system the way they got it messed up, where we can't create money as we need it. That's the whole point of it. That's the whole point of the trust, is to where no matter how much money you need, you can promise to pay somebody any amount, and that money's going to be there, you know, within a reasonable amount. You know, you're not going to go pay off the national debt. You're not going to go pay Uncle Morty for a bottle of liquor. It's got to be a commercial debt. Like if you're going to go buy a car, you have to have them send you a true bill in commerce. You have to have some kind of commercial billing in order to be able to pay the bill off. The one thing that I'm fixing to get into is getting these prepaid credit cards. It's advised that you take one of these prepaid credit cards that you put like $200-something on, and you get a fixed amount of credit on there. Well, you do 2 or 3 of these cards, and you run that credit limit up a pretty good amount, then you use this accepted for value process to pay it. They're real good about paying those prepaid credit cards bills. So, and once you get to where you can discharge that debt right away, man, you got got access to plenty of credit to get started with on whatever adventure you're rolling on. And while I'm on that note, for those of you who got small businesses that paycheck protection plan that they got in the stimulus thing for those loans for paycheck protection are really good. They forgive them if you spend them within 8 weeks. I suggest everybody go to the SBA and get one of those loans because the money is coming out of your Sister KV trust. That's why they got to have a man or a woman with a Social Security number on that bank account, so they can go to that Social Security, that Sister KV trust, and draw that money.
Hello, Ronnie. Ronnie.
Whenever you get everything in line as far as your private contracts, and you go to the IRS and you have that master file corrected to tell them that, hey, I'm the beneficiary, I'm not the trustee. You get to be the trustee, and you appoint them as trustee on the IRS Form 56. I'd send one every time you contact them. Send them a Form 56, making that commissioner a fiduciary trustee. They'll get to the point eventually. Whenever you get everything lined out on your trust, you can collapse it, or you can use it as it is. I'm not real fond of them holding all of my assets. You know, I want to be in control of the assets myself, you know, and reinvest myself. Because with what they have, if I put it into an account in my private foundation and it's earning interest, the interest is more than what I can spend, so it's going to continue to grow the way it would where they've got invested now. And I could, through the nonprofit aspect of my foundation, it's never going to be spent. It's going to be put in usufruct just like it is now, and I'll bank off the residuals. I can run plenty of business, plenty of everything off of the residuals off of that. With them holding on to the trust, we're blocked in so many ways. Why are we broke whenever we're supposed to be able to go out there and say, you know, I promise to pay you $150, you know, for some food, and you give them a promissory note promising to pay $150. They give you the food. They take that $150 to the Treasury, and they pull it out of your Sister KV trust account, or create it out of there at the Federal Reserve. I don't know what's wrong. I don't know why they have the system all screwed up to where we can't touch it. There's plenty of money there. There's plenty of money to go around the world. They're talking about the St. Germain Trust. I believe this is part of it. I believe our Sister KV Trust are part of the big overall picture of the St. James Trust that was envisioned, that everybody has an estate that's virtually equal in unlimited capabilities. But it's there.
Ronnie, can you hear me?
Let me tell you this. We are kings.
Ronnie.
We are created in the image of a king. Therefore, we have sovereign characteristics, just like the king. If that trust is not like I say it is, if all of this is rubbish and it's all bullshit, and it's not that way, we can make it be that way. We can say it's that way, and it will be that way unless there is a man or a woman withstanding to say otherwise. We make We run the law. If it's not this way, then by God, it should have been this way, and let's make it this way. From what all I gather, it's pretty obvious, because the Civil War was a perfect timing for all this to start taking place. As far as them taking control of those trusts and not letting anybody know what was happening. I don't know how everybody lost sight of it. I don't know where we went wrong in knowing where our assets were. But I don't know how many of you have seen the quote from Edward Mandell House, where he's talking about he's going to, no man or woman will be able to work without pledging their assets and getting that number. And he lays it all out how he's going to enslave the people, and we're not going to be any the wiser because we won't even realize it's going on. And sure enough, that's exactly what they've done. I can't share documents on here. I got that quote. I send that quote to every government official I can come across. Everybody I deal with, I send them that quote because that's what they're participating in. And it's wrong. It's criminal. It's treason. We have the right of the fruits of this land. We have the right to be able to enjoy those fruits, and we're not getting any of it. We're shut down, strapped down, locked down, and told what to do, and picked clean of our sweat equity.
Is there any way we can talk to
that's
this man?
A problem. That's a big, big
got this
problem.
Whole thing shut down?
And it's got to be nipped in the bud, period.
I don't think he can hear you.
Hey,
People
Ronnie,
don't have to put up with it.
Ronnie.
Yeah.
Is there any way we can talk to this man, or does he
We would all get caught up in our
control
day-to-day lives and
this-
everything. And there's not much fight you can do being one person, sitting in one place at one time.
How do we ask
Ronnie.
this man a question?
You
I
go
don't know.
to putting your
Ronnie.
private contracts in order, and you start
Ronnie.
moving out of the
It's
commercial
wonderful,
realm,
but,
stop
you know,
using their
we need
Federal
to ask
Reserve notes,
questions.
pull out of their banking system, and you get
Hello,
these
Ronnie.
contracts right, and you put your
Ed, if you will
your
cancel
notice
him
of
and knock
intent to
him
claim
off
a
the
right,
call,
an affidavit
he'll dial back
showing
in.
that you're going to be doing private and special
I
banking.
can't hear you
If you're
too well,
negotiable
sir.
instruments,
He
whenever
keeps
you
talking
give them
over
notice
you.
and they don't let you know back, hey, you can't do that, and then you're clear to do that because we have the right contract.
Mute him and he will hear it.
Whenever you send those notices in and they don't respond, or you send all of those bonds
what did
and
you
stuff
say
in
again?
and your
Yeah, we
private
can't answer
contracts,
questions.
and they send you the green card back, that's saying, hey, that's a green light. That's saying everything's okay. They didn't send you anything.
What did you say?
If you mute Ronnie, then he should be able to. He should.
No,
I have a question.
I
exist.
said that I'm trying to. I've tried to
Hello,
talk
Ronnie.
to this
Can I ask you
man,
a
but he
question?
don't.
It's highly illegal for them to deny the trust.
Ronnie, can you hear anything?
I am
Hello,
unmuted now, and I don't get. I
I
can't
got a
get
phone
through to
call
that.
here.
Hello,
I believe
Ronnie.
it's Mr. Bruce Bullitt.
Who gave him
Yes,
the
sir.
authority to shut
Yeah,
everything
but
down?
the people want to ask questions and you're not
Yes.
answering them.
Hey, Ronnie, they're
Huh?
trying to get you to shut up so they can ask some questions.
Oh, okay.
They're trying to
He
get
said
your
I can't
attention.
hear you.
Okay, who wants to be first?
Can you hear me?
Speaking. Yeah.
Hello?
Speak.
Can you hear
Okay,
me?
I'll take some questions.
Yeah. Okay, go
Can you hear
ahead.
me?
Am I still on here?
Yeah.
Hello?
Hello.
We can hear you.
Is this
Hey, Ronnie?
a Fetishu trust?
Can you still hear me?
Did you
Yeah.
hear him, Ronnie?
And is this a
Can you hear
Fetishu
us?
trust? What kind of trust is this?
The Cestacue. He's talking about the Cestacue, our Cestacue trust.
Setaskewed.
Well, I can't tell if
Yes.
this thing's working or not.
Is it Setaskewed Trust?
Yeah,
Can you
it's
hear
not
me,
working.
Ronnie?
No.
I can't
don't think you
recognize the word, the letters he's using at the beginning of the trust.
Bruce called me and said that they was wanting to ask questions. So
yeah,
I am ready to take some
I have a
questions.
question. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me, Ronnie?
Can you hear us, Ronnie?
No.
Ronnie,
question.
can you hear us?
No.
Hello? Can you hear us?
For some reason,
I can hear him, but I can't hear anybody else.
I have
Ronnie,
a question, Ronnie. How do you get them to sign the Form 56? How do you make them be fiduciary?
Ronnie,
Hello?
are you there, Ronnie? Talk to us, Ronnie.
I don't think he can hear you.
Hello, Ronnie.
Unmute. He needs to unmute, I think. Or
My name's Ronnie,
oh.
but I don't know. I never gave it to anybody on this show.
Well, you're not the main speaker, so you're not Ronnie we're talking to.
Is the gentleman that's talking about the trust, is that his name too, Ron?
Hello.
Absolutely.
Yes. Private. Yes.
Hey, Ronnie. Can you hear us?
Hey, Ronnie, this is Bruce.
Uh-huh.
Ronnie,
Hello.
can you hear me?
You're not hearing them, apparently.
312.
No, I can't hear anybody.
Is this his
Oh, wait a
first
minute.
call?
Okay, hang on a second. I know what happened.
Oh, hang
I don't know what's
My
going on.
damn speaker went off. Oh, I hate those things.
This is Ed.
What things? I tried to contact you during the Ed's question.
Yeah, my speaker went out. I was off in my own little
ask
world.
questions of you.
Hello, Ronnie.
Okay, I got it back on now.
Okay,
What did you do?
Your speakers have gone out.
Okay. All right,
Hey,
can you
Ronnie,
hear me now?
Yeah, can you hear
Ronnie,
us?
Lord.
can you hear me? This is Ed.
Everybody else mute except for Ronnie and Ed. Let them get on track.
Hello, Ronnie. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I
Lord.
can hear. My speaker went out.
Your speaker went
What
out?
it was?
Yeah, it's one of those that shuts off. It's one of those that shuts off after a little while if you don't use it. It'll just shut off by itself.
Ronnie, can you take a question? Ronnie, can you take a question?
Would you be able to spell the name of the trust that you're speaking of?
Okay, it's CES. CES.
Did you hear that? Yeah, did you hear? I hear you. Can you hear me?
CES, did you say?
Mute
Did you say
your phone.
CES as in Setaskewed Trust?
CESTUI.
Yeah, it's the Setaskewed Trust you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
The name's in the email.
Ronnie, I have a question.
Okay.
How do people look up and see what's in this trust? If it's
Well, that's virtually impossible that I know of because they don't want to even let you know the trust exists. They'll deny that trust until the day they die.
Hey, Ronnie, I have a question. Can you hear me?
And none of the lower people know about the trust.
Okay. There's another fellow here that has a question for you.
Okay.
Go ahead, sir.
How do you get them to sign the Form 56? How do you force them to be the fiduciary?
Hours of appointment. They have to.
Well, what I've always done is just left it blank. I let them know my intentions, and I put I don't know, 4248 or whatever it is, that power of attorney form.
2248.
Yeah, I put one of those with it too, just to let them know what I'm talking about.
Well, you shouldn't sign it because if you sign it, that'd be forgery. You can't sign their name. I mean, my point is, you can fill out a Form 56, but you can't make them be fiduciary.
No. Well,
what you can do is make your straw man be the fiduciary of your account.
That's working.
I've never heard of that one.
It's like I said. These people that are claiming you can take a Form 56 and go in and shut down a court case is full of crap. Because you know you can appoint the judge to do anything, but if he doesn't sign it, he's not going to do it.
Yeah, I've done that before. It goes over like a turn the time control.
Exactly.
They look at you like you're stupid, and you don't know what you're talking about. Which, in fact, you have the power of appointment, but they don't have to listen to you because they're crooked.
Now, when you did your proof of claim, did you actually file it on a UCC1 using the registered number that you mailed to yourself?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so you did file it as a security.
Because whenever you go to county and try to record something in the recorder's office, they don't want to record anything, especially not your private contracts, because they don't understand what's going on. They don't understand what their office is for, really.
Well, now, are you doing a UCC one or a non-UCC?
Now, I don't know what the non-UCC is all about. I'm not sure about that one. Mine's all done on the UCC, for the UCC, because you want to connect that UCC trust office in Washington, D.C., UCC1 Contract Trust.
Who'd you file your UCC1 with?
It's called a UCC Contract Trust Building.
Okay, but who did you file it with? You filed it with them?
That's the IRS. That's part of the IRS.
Right, but is that where you filed your UCC1?
No, I do that with the Secretary of State.
Right, in which state?
Texas.
Okay, is that your birth state or just where you hang out?
That's my birth state.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know, do we have to do it in our birth state or just where we presently hang out? Or does it not matter?
I don't know that it would matter too much. As long as you've just got it recorded, as long as it's there, the laws apply. And it'll be the law of whatever state you're in.
Gotcha.
You can't just cite the UCC. If you just cite the UCC by itself, that's a model contract. It's not necessarily law until it's codified into law in one of the states. So you have to use their version of it. Like in Texas, it's Title I. Title I would be called the UCC in Texas.
Got you. Thanks, Ronnie, and congrats on your A4V.
Yeah, it was something else. I couldn't believe it went through. And
you left. You did it on the social, or did you do it on a 98 number?
I don't have a 98 number. From what I understand, they quit doing all those 98 number things a while back.
You can still get them.
I don't know. Whenever I went to get my foundation, all I needed was the EIN to do banking with, because I'm a 508c1A, which qualifies as a 501c3, but I don't have to file as a 501c3 because I'm private.
So you got a private banking EIN?
Yeah.
And so did you convey your social into that EIN?
No.
Okay, so did you use that banking EIN to do your A4B?
No, I use my social for the A4B.
Okay.
With or without dashes, sir?
Yeah, all this is interesting.
Yeah, whenever you do your chargeback order that you file with the Treasury, and then you do your chargeback order, a bill of exchange, and notice of intent to do private and specific banking, and all of that, you lay out what those accounts are. The one with the dashes is the Social Security number, straw man account number. The Social Security number without the dashes is your private contract. Let's see. Somebody's talking. The Social Security number without the dashes is your UCC private contract trust number. That's your account number that they're going to use for the set-off. Oh, no,
that's
public
the social without the dashes.
Yeah, that's your private UCC contract trust number.
Gotcha.
Because whenever you connect all this stuff together, they're going to connect your UCC1 with your Social Security number without dashes, and that registered mail number that you send everything to the Treasury with becomes the routing number without the letters. If you notice, it's a 9-digit number, just like a routing number. Whenever you take the letters RE and US off of it.
You can actually get a credit card using a registered number, 9-digit number.
I've heard that before.
You can.
It's set out in the Social Security Act that the postmaster is supposed to be able to conduct banking with the stamp.
That's true.
I have a question, Ronnie.
Yes.
Could you please summarize what you have to do to begin using the process that you've been successful with on all these things you've talked about? I kind of missed a few minutes of the first part of the call, and I just summarize, please.
Okay, the first thing that everybody needs to do is do your private contracts. That's your commercial security agreement, hold harmless and indemnity agreement, non-negotiable security agreement, and your indemnity bond. I've got all the templates for that.
And power of attorney, no? Power of attorney?
You need a power of attorney, a durable power.
I believe that's the first thing you should do, just to cover your hiney.
That sounds like Connie. Is that Connie?
Who's this?
How you doing, girl?
Yes, it is. Yes.
I thought so. I recognize your voice.
Oh, wow. Well,
is durable power of attorney a government form? I'm sorry.
Yes. No, power of attorney is... Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt. I just thought that was very important.
If it's a government form, do you have the form number for durable power of attorney?
No. I make all my own. I don't do any kind of government forms. If you look at the definition of a form, that is a document to be used in a court against you.
Yep, agreed.
And I suggest that everybody make their own forms, their own paperwork. When you're dealing with the IRS, you can put form at the top of it yourself, and that way you get to use it in court.
You give it
May I?
Number.
Our IRS form is 2848.
May I?
Yeah.
Yeah, 28 is a power of attorney, guys. That's all 2848 is. It's an IRS power. It's an IRS form, power of attorney.
Okay, if I may, I worked in a legal office for a very long time. I've done a tremendous amount of research about what the benefit of the U.S. citizen is. And if you look, you can see that even their forms are a benefit.
Yeah.
So it's double-minded to use their form, and unless you are the beneficiary coming in as a foreign entity operating that thing.
And that's what you're doing whenever you go to your you're using the power of attorney that the IRS has. You're following their form, but you're coming in as a beneficiary. So you have the right to do anything you want to do on that, and you're not supposed to be held responsible. But that's one of the reasons you want to get your indemnity and all of that lined out before you start dealing heavily with the IRS and telling them what to do. It's best to have all your contracts in place first. Once they see those contracts, they know that you know what you're talking about, because the commercial security agreement lays it all out, that you're not responsible for what happens that debtor does. You're not responsible for that debtor. You pay the bills for it, and you're going to take care of everything that it's done and that it's supposed to do and all of that, but you're not responsible for it. You're not the surety for that. And all the debts that you incur are obligations of the United States immediately, because all debts are prepaid. They're prepaid because of this account. This account is part of the remedy that's in HJR 192 and codified at 31 United States Code. The remedy couldn't exist without there being a trust discharge through. I haven't had any of them deny it, and I haven't had any of them just come out and deny that the trust exists. The only ones I've had a problem with is the DTC and the DTCC. They just don't respond. And, we don't really have a court system where we can just jerk somebody up and put them in court and say, hey, where's my stuff? It's all their courts, and they cover up for one another.
So what was that code again on the 31 USC? What was the other part of that code?
Let's see, let me find my...
May I offer the number section? It might be the one you're looking for.
Yeah, go ahead.
5118 and 511.
Hey, we can't hear you on the questions.
Title 31.
5118 and what?
5119. That could be the Title 31 he's talking about.
I believe that's it.
And what does that code do again?
It's 313123.
Okay. I've got a 511.
3123. 31 US. 3123.
Okay, and what is that code?
That's House Joint Resolution.
That's where
that's where House Joint Resolution 192 was repealed and codified at.
Yeah, it was codified in USC 31, 5118 and 5119.
And that's where the U.S. has to pay all your bills. Is that right?
Yeah.
It talks about money at par and redemption.
All debts are obligations of the United States. Whenever you create a debt instrument, like a bond or a promissory note or a money order, it becomes an obligation of the United States. because those are considered currency. Because you have no recourse. You don't have gold or silver, and you have to have remedy. So their remedy is negotiable instruments, and which is currency.
Question.
Okay.
Is that why your signature is considered money, because it can be monetized?
Yes, because they can use you as an accommodation party, and hypothecate your signature as though you were signing it and as though you gave them permission to use it. That's another presumption that they use. You are presumed to be an accommodation party, and you have to stop them from having those presumptions. That's where our private contracts come in a lot. It rebuts a lot of their presumption that they're allowed to have right off the bat, that few people know about. And they become adhesion contracts that you don't even realize it's on you. Like if you sign for a court-appointed lawyer, you accept the jurisdiction. Who in the hell knows that? All those little things add up because they use them against you to keep you from doing what you need to do.
So when you talked about private contracts, sorry, I got on the call a little bit late. What do we need to do for a private contract?
Those would be your commercial security agreement, non-negotiable security agreement, hold harmless and indemnity agreement, and the indemnity bond, and all of that. Those are your private contracts. I've got them. I've got the templates for them.
Oh, you do?
Oh, yeah.
Oh. Does everybody have your contact information where we can get copies of the templates?
I'm trying to find out where I got them. I put them somewhere.
Question about that, Ronnie?
Yeah.
On these things that you make, the indemnity bond, the security agreement, etc., do they have to then be filed at the Secretary of State's office like a lien and sent in with a certified and green cards, that sort of thing, to get them registered? Or is that process required?
Yeah, what you're going to do is whenever you file your UCC1, they've got if you do it online, they've got a thing where you can upload a file. What you do is you create a file with all of these contracts in it ahead of time, and then you just upload that file on your UCC1 addendum, and they'll put it all in there.
I have a question.
And that way,
specifically, what if they refuse to file it at the Secretary of State's? I've had that happen before.
Yeah, it's happened to me too. I just went back and done it anyway. At first they don't want to file. They said that you can't hold a lien on somebody with the same name as yourself and all of this baloney. And I wrote to them and I explained to them, that one of them's a corporation. And yes, I can, because I've got a DBA. You go down to the county and get a DBA, doing business as that all straw man name, all capital letters name. And then what can they say? They've got you registered in commerce, and you're the secured party for that business because you've signed under it in your upper and lower case. You have to get them in a bind where, there's nothing they can do.
I have a DBA, like you said.
Yeah. Yeah, once you have that DBA saying that you're doing business as that all capital letters name, they can't refute the fact that you can have a lien on that darn thing. That's your business. You're the sole proprietor.
You make a lot of sense, Ronnie. Congratulations. I'm just trying to get more input.
Yes, sir.
I'll leave it.
Yes, sir.
I'll yield to other questions.
And there is a way to get a common law copyright on your name and file that at the deed of records in your county.
Yeah, you need your common law copyright. I put copyright and trademark and everything on one notice. I don't think it hurt anything because we're doing business in common law. We're not doing it according to their rules.
Right.
We don't have to follow their stringent rules and their nitpicking of particulars. You know, if we say we own the blue jug that sits on the back porch, that's all we have to tell them. And
another question?
Yeah.
When you send in these things that have your position to the powers that be, do you do it in the form of an affidavit ever, or is that?
I suggest putting an affidavit with everything you send. Always send an affidavit. Whenever the affidavit is unrebutted after 90 days, it becomes fact in law and truth in commerce. And the truth in commerce is sovereign.
Yep.
A lot of people don't realize that whenever that affidavit stands as truth in commerce, that's a sovereign entity in and of itself. It cannot be penetrated by anybody for any reason whatsoever after it becomes cured. And whenever you file that UCC-1, that UCC-1 is a lien, and it's also an affidavit of obligation. To trespass on an affidavit of obligation is to incur, it's a fatal error in which one incurs the full liability for the amount of all the claims in the affidavit of obligation. So they can, if they trespass on your UCC-1, like trying to charge you a debt or something, after you've already got a lien, then they're trespassed on your affidavit of obligation, which incurs full liability for all the obligations.
You have to go to the bank.
Affidavits need to be notarized by a de facto notary?
Yeah, they it helps to have them notarized.
Okay.
Now you can do it with if you got a couple of friends there, you can do it with your friends witnessing, because you know we go by divine law too, and Jesus said where two or more men are, there I'll be.
Okay. 2 or more witnesses.
So.
God's law.
Yeah, you want to get your everything notarized that you can, and send it by notary presentment. Whenever you send your papers, send them by notary presentment. That's where you have the notary put everything in the envelope, and you need a certificate of service on everything. That's where the notary puts everything in the envelope, signs a piece of paper saying, I put such and such and such in the envelope and mailed it to such and such. And then the return as address is to the notary. So whenever they don't respond, the notary knows they did not respond because they didn't write anything to the notary. And that's where they were required to go through. And then the notary can certify that non-response with another notice and an opportunity to cure the mistake. And you do that a couple of times, and then you get the default judgment on them. Get your administrative default judgment, take it to a county court, county clerk, or send it to the Secretary of State and have them authenticate it with your paperwork showing that you tried to notify them, and your certificates of non-response. You show that they didn't respond and that you give them a chance to respond, and they defaulted, and they're in default and dishonor in commerce. And most of the time it's a default judgment and nil dicit, which means he says nothing. Once you get that, you can take that to a broker and bank off of it. A default judgment.
So we've had trouble finding notaries that know how to do a notary presentment.
Oh boy, you talk about the truth there. They sure don't, and they're scared to death. They're scared to death to do any. Oh, I can't do any kind of legal work.
You're like, yeah, you're an officer of the court. You could have a judge arrested if you wanted to.
Yeah. Yeah, notary public can sit as a magistrate.
Why not do witnesses in lieu of a notary?
Yeah, a notary can hold court, actually. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I do witnesses on mine rather than notary because you're kind of double-minded. If you're going to be in the private and do private documents, private administration process, and then you can use a notary that gets a license from the state, in my mind, that would be double-minded.
Well, now let me tell you something on that. Whenever you do your declarations on your affidavit, you want to put up and whenever you first begin it, say that you're of sound mind, of the age of majority, in your first-hand knowledge of the facts, and I declare under the penalties of perjury of the United States of America. Now, whenever you put under the penalties of perjury of the United States of America, that means it is coming from outside of the United States. That signifies that it's coming from outside of the United States. And whenever you do your jurat, or the notary does a certificate of service, or whatever, you have the notary say, so-and-so appeared before me, or I was contacted by so-and-so from outside of the United States. See, the notary is going to testify that you're coming from outside of the United States.
I don't think most notaries even know that.
No, they don't.
That's why we need to educate them. That's why I went and got I got a friend of mine and taught him how to do it and everything, and got him notarized so I could have somebody on my side. And now we tear them up.
They don't know we're foreign.
It's only like $110 to get a notary stamp.
Well,
hey,
then
Ron?
you also have to swear to be a citizen, too, don't you?
Yeah, you can hold office. That's like we can use our American citizen to do things, and it doesn't mean you're accepting the benefit. See, we created the United States of America for us. We created that. How's it going to turn around and be used against us taking a benefit? You're damn right I'm taking a benefit because I created your ass. What did I put you there for if it's not for a benefit? But now they use it like, if you touch us and you become one of us, you are a symbol.
We have a right to contract with whomever we please, including all commerce.
That's right. We have the right to self-determination. And you can't tell me that I'm a fiction construct called a citizen. A citizen is a fiction. You can't ever be a citizen. That's why whenever Jesus told Pontius Pilate, he said, your king is not my judge. Meaning he was not a Roman citizen. And that's why Pontius Pilate had to wash his hands in the situation. And he said, I wash my hands of the blood of this innocent man. Because he had no jurisdiction. That's why he turned it over to the people, and the people went nutso.
Question?
Hey, Ronnie, can you hear me?
Yes.
Where, and I've been listening since day one, I mean, since the beginning of the contract, and a lot of this stuff I've heard of, and I've sat here listening, taking notes, so forth and so on.
I have a question for you.
How do we get information from you? I'm also here in the state of Texas, in South Texas, and I've heard some of this before, but a lot of it I've never heard. How do we get hard copy documentation or copies from you, so forth and so on?
You can email me. I'll go ahead and give out my email address. That way everybody can have it. Just shoot me an email and tell me what particular area you're working on. What you need. If you need the private contracts, just let me know you need the private contracts. Or if you need the trust indemnity agreement, deed of trust, all the documents are my documents, and they have my name and my number and stuff on them because I don't have time to redact everything. And I just ask that nobody share my private documents. You know, I want you to be able to use them and benefit from them, but I don't want anybody pulling any willy foo-foo on me.
Honor your privacy, but use them as templates.
That's just common sense right there.
Yes.
Yeah, what's your email address, Ronnie?
Okay, it's lowercase e underscore lowercase TRAIL trail 2010 at yahoo.com.
Okay, so it's just one E underscore trail 2010 at yahoo.com. Is that right? Or is it two E's?
E underscore trail.
Got it. Okay, thanks.
I made that to look like electronic trail 2010. Because that's what it is. It's an electronic trail, buddy. They got everything I've ever wrote.
underscore trail 2010 at Yahoo. Got it.
Yeah, I answer every email. And I'll get you what you need.
I didn't get the last part of that. Please.
It's E underscore trail 2010 at yahoo.com.
Yahoo. Okay.
Yeah, and it's all lowercase, correct, Ronnie?
Yeah, all lowercase.
Okay. Very good. I appreciate that. Thank you, sir. I think you probably know some of the people that I study with and meet with, but we'll just leave it at that because we'll follow up at a later date. A good friend of mine had sent me this link, and I'd always heard a bunch about this Sustacade Trust and various aspects of it, that it makes sense. And I was listening to the lady in the background that says she'd been working in a law office for years and years, and they keep us all dumbed down and rape us financially from the day we're born till the day we take our last breath. So it's time to get back what's rightfully ours.
Have you ever listened to the first verse of the hymn Amazing Grace?
Well, yes, sir. I've heard it several times.
Yeah.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. They're talking about being lost at sea, and that's just the KB Trust. They're coming into your Jubilee. And they've had us singing that song over in funerals and stuff, you know. And I think about all this.
Hello, Ronnie. This is Ed. Did we lose you again?
Yep. He got lost. He's going to get found.
Well, my time is up in about 5 minutes, so I want to thank all y'all for listening in. And
these people who lived their whole lifetimes because.
Ronnie, are you there? His speaker must have went out again.
I want to thank you, Ed, and Ronnie both.
Hello, Ronnie.
Good.
Well, anyway, he gave you his email list so y'all can, you got some more questions, you can get it from him.
Does anybody know in the group how to work with?
If you have trouble getting a hold of him, get a hold of me. I'll run him down for you.
Thank you, Ed.
Thank you, Ed.
Okay.
When's our next meeting?
Ed, this is Jerry. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Get in touch with Ed.
Yeah, I was trying to get. I couldn't. Yeah, I couldn't call in. I called in. I've been here the whole call, but couldn't voice over to get in touch. Something was, bad deal about that.
You couldn't.
Anyway, call's over. Great call.
Okay. I hope y'all enjoyed it.
Maybe you need to coach him a little bit on his next call, huh?
How do we get in touch with Ed?
Okay. Hey, have a great Easter, Ed. You take care of yourself.
Thank y'all all. Have a good evening.
Bye.
Okay.
Ed, do you think you can have Ronnie on again?
Yeah, I'll talk to him about it, see if he might want to come on again.
This was wonderful. Some of the best information I've heard in a long time.
It's
as good as Gary.
Yeah. The fellow that wanted to get a hold of me.
Yes, sir.
Is REPTX.
Say that again, please.
REP, short for Republic. REPTX. TX is short for Texas. 777 at att.net.
Okay, I'll repeat that. It's REC 777 at att.net.
All right,
is that correct?
REPTX 777.
Oh, okay.
REPTX 777.
Okay. All right, I'll start over then. RECTX 7777 4 sevens and ATT 3 sevens. I'm sorry. Okay.
3 7.
All right.
Thank you.
It's REP as in Peter. TX.
what?
REP as in Paul.
Oh, P as in Paul. Okay.
REP TX 77 at att.net.
3 7.
Is that 2 sevens or 3 sevens?
3
7.
3 sevens. Okay. I've got REP TX 777 at att.net.
No, not AT&T. It's ATT. No and. ATT.net.
May I?
Right.
Yes, you may.
Ed? Thank you. This might seem a little feather ruffling, but please just hear me from my heart. There's zero of that I want to do. But I do want to ask a question. I heard you mention someone say, have a happy Easter. I don't say this easily, so bear with me. I've been shown by, you can call it the ether, you can call it God, you can call it the Creator, you can call it whatever you want. But I've been shown very explicitly and in very, very detailed that there are two jurisdictions. Hang on, just let me hear me out, okay? Because this is eternally damning or eternally life. He showed me the two jurisdictions. There's his jurisdiction, which is it. That's his jurisdiction. And there's one other jurisdiction. The other jurisdiction stems from the Council of Nicaea in 324, 325 AD, where Constantine saw a cross and then put everybody under one umbrella, which included the pagans, the Christians, the Satanists, the witches, everybody under one, including the Sanhedrin and the Talmud and all that stuff under one roof, under one umbrella. That's one jurisdiction. It's called the other jurisdiction. And then there's the Creator's jurisdiction.
Amen.
Okay, so he showed me a cross. He showed me to draw a cross on a piece of paper. And then he told me that Constantine had an epiphany or a dream. If you have a dream, I can't tell anybody what your dream is because I didn't see it, I didn't experience it, and I didn't hear it. So Constantine's epiphany or dream is hearsay. Okay, even though it's hearsay, to this very day, from the very moment that Constantine signed his order or whatever it is that he signed, his proclamation, declaration, the Romans never, I repeat, never crucified anyone on a cross. Never. So it was a stake and not a cross. And I make that distinction because what I'm about to tell you is going to blow you some off your chairs. And you might get mad at me, but please don't kill the messenger. Just listen to the truth. And here's the rest of what he showed me. On the left side of that cross, under the cross piece, is God, Jesus, Holy Spirit, Lord, Church, all of those words that they use in the Bible, including the word Bible. All of those are on the left, which is the wicked side, by the way. And on the right, he gave the tetragrammaton for his name, which is YHUH, or Yod-He Wah-He, or Yod-He Vav-He. And then when he came in the flesh, it was him in the flesh, and the name that he used here on the earth was Yahusha, and Hamashiach means the Messiah. And then there's, for their Holy Spirit would be in the Creator's jurisdiction would be the Ruach HaKodesh, HaKodesh meaning set apart, which they say is holy, and Ruach, which is the rushing wind, which is your breath. You literally are the temple and you house his spirit. That's the Ruach and the breath that you breathe. What he showed me was that America was founded on a Bible, and the Bible that it was founded on was not King James.
Amen.
And I know the elites use the King James, and they go down to the probate and they sign their family Bible into evidence in the probate court with their family histories and all their records, and they are granted a passport. They don't hold U.S. passports. Well, the Creator showed me, and I call him Yahuwah because he showed me his tetragrammaton, which is his name, which, by the way, was locked up until the end of Daniel chapter 12, which was 1,290 years, which ended in about, that curse was lifted about 2004, 2005. And we were commanded to know his name when he lifted that curse we were under. So it's been lifted. The research is out there. Many people are doing it. Jeff Brenner, Eric Bissell, all kinds of people are doing it. And these are Americans, okay? These are not Jews from another land. And they're not Jew, by the way. They're Hebrew, which means to cross over, which is what the Americans are. We are the 10 tribes on this continent, and I'm about as far north as you can get, minus Russia, because we're way up here in the back 40 in the snowy land, up in Alaska land. Anyway, what he showed me is that, yes, that country, it was an experiment by the Jesuits, was founded to see if we could govern ourselves, and we blew it. Literally blew it, but it's okay because we have grace and we have a Messiah that's coming for us. In the meantime, they said in I want to say, don't quote me on the year, I want to say it was 1970, but please don't quote me. I believe it was Reagan signed into law, public law. Again, the first key there is public. We're not public because we're not a thing. We interface with that system through a trust or a 508c1a church. So the America that we all know, we're not American nationals because there's no such thing. You're a state national. And when you use that state national standing and status, you cannot use the Bible because in that Public Law 97-280, they deemed the Bible as the law of the land, but nobody went to look to see what Bible they're using. And if you go back to see what one they used when they were founding the country, Lincoln took out of, I believe it was the Wycliffe 1321, could be 1381, but I'm pretty sure it's 21, for the people, by the people, for the people, etc. He took that out of the Wycliffe Bible before. It was a 1300 circa Bible. And at that time when he wrote that, the King James Authorized Version wasn't in wide circulation. There were no copiers, no fax machines. We didn't have email. So it could not have been the Bible they used here to found the country. So if you all are using the words God, Jesus, Holy Spirit, Lord, Bible, church, all those words, they don't belong to us. That's the other jurisdiction, and when you use them, you literally invoke that jurisdiction, and they can take you. Let me give you an example. I've been working for 5 years on a case where a young man, my study buddy, who cut his teeth on what I knew, and everywhere I sent him to all the gurus that I knew, which didn't charge, but anyway, all the guys and women that I knew. To this day, he's not free. It took me 2 years to convince him that what happened when they arrested him is how they're holding him, and here's what happened when they arrested him. The cop that arrested him took a picture of his Bible. Why did he take a picture of that Bible? Why would they take a picture of that Bible unless it was their jurisdiction and they were evidencing their jurisdiction, that they have the right?
Quite a bit of credit.
What's that?
That's giving them quite a bit of credit for having knowledge.
Well, I know. I think they know this. Now, not everybody. This is a need-to-know basis. Not everyone knows this. If the Creator Himself had to show me this, rest assured they don't all know this. Because I cried out to Him. Pardon me?
Where are you from?
Born at Washington.
Hello, ma'am.
I was also given 3 diagrams, showed exactly what they did and how they did it. Let me give you, I'll just give you a verbal on one of them. When Mom went to the hospital to have her little one, she didn't use a rural route, which is the land. She used a street address, but they didn't even use that street address. That little one was born at that hospital, and they expatriated Mom when she signed what's known as admissions paperwork. Go look up 8 U.S.C. 1448 and see how they naturalized you as a newborn without your knowledge or your permission, or Mom's knowledge or her permission. And when she signed that admission paperwork, she signed into the other jurisdiction, which that hospital is a landlocked military ship. So we went from our first estate into this other jurisdiction with, you're a newborn, how could you possibly know any of that? Your mom didn't know any of that because they didn't divulge it. So she signed this admission paperwork into this other jurisdiction. Then they married Mom with a consular's report of marriage. Then we were born. And then they did a consular's report of adoption abroad. And then they